And you thought it was so difficult.
Yeah, what do you think, Alina?
I think it's great.
In this episode, we follow up to video number 2, which covered finding the right catamaran and our shopping adventures over 2 years, including the Miami and Annapolis boat shows. It has taken this long since buying something which is as major as purchasing a new home takes time and, of course, financing. Timing became everything since we are still working, and with the downturn in world markets, we wanted a build time which was in sync with our financial plans and goals. We spent a lot of time analyzing and deliberating over our finalists to come to the right decision for us based on our criteria.
Before heading to the Annapolis Boat Show back in 2021, we had already made a deposit on a catamaran. Although we thought it was our final choice, we changed our minds months later after our return because we realized that the boat that we had just test sailed in Annapolis was the boat that was closest to the configuration we wanted. Also, with a much later 2023 delivery date, this was more in line with our budgetary timeline. Furthermore, as we were looking at new semi-custom builds, one of the key deciding factors was actually being able to test sail the boat we were considering, as it would validate our choices and criteria. It also gave us much more as it supported our desire to move to a bigger boat with more space for living and entertaining with family and friends.
So come along with us today and find out which boat we finally selected to be the sailing vessel Sphyrna.
Welcome to Second Wind Adventures, where we start the next chapter in our life where retirement can be fun, exciting, and challenging.
Follow along with us as we continue to transition from our regular full-time work life to a more flexible lifestyle that includes cottage living, adventure travel, and our dream to circumnavigate the globe on a sailing catamaran.
This is us, Alina and Monty. We would love if you joined us so that we can share with you the trials of achieving our goals. Ladies and gentlemen, let us present you our final selection.
Yes, folks, our final selection is the Kinetic 54 all-carbon performance catamaran. We are hull build number 5, which is scheduled to begin construction this August in Knysna, South Africa, with an anticipated completion date of October 2023.
Just to recap from our catamaran shopping video, our key requirements were A. Performance. We wanted a catamaran which we could easily enjoy sailing quickly and safely from location to location with the ability to experience the exhilaration of sailing at wind speed. B. Short-handed sailing. We wanted a boat large enough to be very comfortable to accommodate our visiting family and friends, but configured to be easily handled by a cruising couple, in safety, of course, and with a center forward helm, which was a must in our books. C. Eco-friendly and green. This relates to performance. We wanted a boat we could sail more often when winds are lower, while heavier catamarans would have to motor sail. We also wanted to leverage the most current technology to minimize our use of fossil fuels. D. Space, luxury. This is going to be our one and only boat, and we wanted to get as big and as luxurious a boat as our budget could afford. This means no IKEA furnishings and only high-quality materials and components.
So let's take a close look at the category of performance. From the test sail we did in Annapolis of the KC-54, this boat was solid. We touched 18 knots and 18 knots of wind while on a broad reach with the overlapping head sail and standard rig. To up the game on our boat, we opted for the performance rig with a larger sail plan. The Kinetic is all carbon with additional carbon mass, boom, and Kevlar rigging. This keeps the weight down and the strength up. The overall 16 metric ton light ship's weight, although not the lightest in its class, is pretty good given the dimensions of this boat and the very spacious living areas. With the performance sail plan, we get an extra 5-foot taller mast, an increase of 12.4% on the mainsail, 5.5 and 3.2% respectively on the Genoa and Code Zero, and a massive 25% on the cruising asymmetric spinnaker.
To aid in upwind performance, the Kinetic offers center boards as standard and optional higher performance dagger boards. As cruisers, we opted for the more safety-oriented swinging center boards, which would swing back up if ever there was an impact with something underwater. With both the standard and performance sail plans, North Sail's 3DI are used for weight, shape, and durability. We will go with a slightly darker and more trendy dark gray main and head sails.
With regards to eco and green, I'm going to start here by giving credit to the folks at Balanced Catamarans who convinced me during our discussions that a green boat is a boat that can sail most of the time. This goes back to the previous category where a performance boat can spend more time sailing in light winds while heavier, non-performance oriented boats will be burning more fuel as they turn their engines on in these lighter conditions. At the time, we were also investigating the option of moving to electric drive with a solar battery combination. We do believe that electric drive is potentially the future, but at this time we're not comfortable where technology was with respect to energy density and the number of batteries required to sustain an adequate electrical consumption/regeneration balance for offshore blue water cruising. And like cars, I don't like the added complexity of a diesel hybrid electric engine and would prefer full electric if the energy density in the batteries was sufficient. We could start an entire discussion around this, but for our boat, we were set for our desired configuration.
We decided on a configuration which would consist of a large solar array, in our case, just under 4 kilowatt of solar on the coach roof and custom transom solar arch. We decided to eliminate the generator and increase the battery capacity to 6 instead of 5.5 kilowatt master volt lithium batteries, also in hope of reducing weight while increasing energy capacity. All appliances and electrical devices will be run off the two 4 kilowatt inverters drawing from the battery bank. Other than the solar panels, charging will also be supported by two 120 amp master volt DC alternators on the diesel engines.
We also wanted to eliminate any other fuel source like gasoline and propane, so everything for cooking, including the barbecue, will be electric, and our tender will also be electric drive with charging port access in the transom area of the mothership. While we were looking at the solar arch, we should also point out that we have asked for the inclusion of a dual stack surfboard paddleboard holder integrated into it, just under the solar platform. This is a little different from the rendering that you see in these shots.
Now as we have a look at the aft cockpit, we were very impressed with the space and attention to detail with the living space. Because of the placement of the traveler and the mast on top of the coach roof, the view off the back of the boat is amazingly unobstructed. Even the davits are below eye level, so the horizon is not obscured. This may change a bit once we consider our custom built solar arch off the back, but even that will be designed to still provide a reasonably unobstructed view.
You can see that the aft cockpit has a tremendous amount of seating and outdoor dining space. The two aft helms are also designed with fold-away seating and their own push-button sail controls and B&G glass helm plotter displays. If we don't want to sail from the indoor forward helm, we can enjoy the weather on either of the aft helms. Further back, you can see the really neat retractable bridge which connects the two sugar scoops into one large swim platform and seating platform. Even the davits fold away to provide a clear area.
Another great feature in the aft, especially for my wannabe ocean fisherman husband, is the live bait well built into the starboard sugar scoop. There are built-in rod holders in the transom, and the fish cleaning board and the grill are hidden away right there on the transom. So we can literally go from bait to caught fish to cleaning and grill all within the same place.
As we proceed into the main salon, we can see one of the primary features we loved about this boat, the forward center helm. With the design of the big windows in the salon, this boat has the best, bar none, outward visibility of any boat that we've been on. 360 degree, even under sail, almost every angle is visible with the head sail up. Both the helm and nav stations have B&G glass helm plotters, and the helm has the same push-button, winch, traveler, and dagger board line driver controls as the two aft stations. View of the mainsail is directly above through a very large retractable Webasto moonroof. The head sail is fully viewable directly through the forward window and door.
While we're in the salon, have a look at the island configuration with fold-away stool seating, which serves as a breakfast nook. The all-electric galley also features an induction cooktop and dual pairs of fridge freezers. If you look at the floor plans, we have the option to go with the island configuration or the full U-shaped counter. We still have not decided yet where to put our flat screen TV, but the option is to either have the TV lift within the counter or flip down from the roof.
While we're looking at the floor plan, one of the other key features that goes along with the forward center helm is the forward cockpit. For short-handed sailing and safety, we feel that with the forward helm and the working forward cockpit, this puts all the controls for sheet and line management, steering, and navigation all in one spot. The mainsail is a furling sail into the boom, and the headsail is attached to a Reckman furler, so that keeps us off the coach roof for reefing and raising or lowering the mainsail. Access to the headsail is also minimized, and if we have to go forward to drop or change the headsails, the cockpit is right there, and no one has to travel from the aft outside along the exterior of the salon to the forward station.
The forward cockpit, with seating for 5, serves as a great lounging area while at anchor, but can also be used while underway. There are even high-quality outdoor speakers out front if you wanted to bounce around to music on the trampoline. The anchor locker and controls are also right at the front of the forward cockpit, and there is a camera under the forward crossbeam to monitor the anchor as it rises or lowers. When at anchor, there is an awning which can extend over the cockpit to provide shade.
For sheet and line control, the standard Harkin 80 electric winches have foot controls to allow you to have both hands available. We are relying heavily on tech to aid us in short-handed sailing. Additional options we chose to support this include the power furling mainsail, Reckman furling jib, push-button line drivers for the center boards, main traveler, main winches, and the bow thruster with dockmate remote control.
Now let's have a look below deck. Unlike some of its competitors, the walls below decks are not paneled but are faired and painted to leave a smooth, clean finish. To do this requires significantly more hours of labor than most production boats. Both guest cabins are very spacious with lots of headroom, and the woodwork throughout is top shelf. Unobstructed continuous windows run down the length of the starboard hull below decks to provide a very bright and airy interior. This is supplemented by the overhead flush mount hatches.
Both staterooms on the starboard guest hull have full queen beds, each with their own heads and a shared shower. On the port side, we choose to go with the owner's configuration with a forward raised main berth over the bridge deck, and a really cool option was a convertible aft living space, which can be either an office, workshop, or an additional stateroom with a pretty smartly designed pull-out twin bed. The head and the shower on the owner's side is separated with a wash basin for each. There is an optional configuration for the cabins with a larger aft convertible bed and 2 showers instead of a shared one for the guest hull.
All staterooms and bathrooms allow for our choice of counter materials, wood veneer finishes, and colors. We were impressed by the quality of the fit and finish, certainly top-notch. We had elected not to go with the optional carbon toilets as we think we can save weight somewhere else. Some of the additional options we chose to make it our special boat included, as we had talked about earlier, The custom solar arch, with ours having room for 2 stacked pedal surfboards under the solar panel array. We added the live bait well and rod holders for fishing while underway, the option for 2 full aft helms with B&G glass helms and line sheet controls. Monty got his Bauer dive compressor and scuba tank holders, darker colored North 3D eye sails, and finally, our custom hull color, a metallic amber orange.
One last detail we spent months dwelling on was the name of the boat. We wanted to choose a name which meant something related to the ocean and its many creatures, while sounding like a female name, which is traditional for a watercraft. We got the idea to use the logo based on a Polynesian tattoo of a hammerhead shark, which was designed for us by a tattoo artist in Moorea. A hammerhead shark was perfect, as it is a sleek, elegant apex predator of the sea. This definitely fits the characteristics of this elegant and fast-sailing catamaran.
So the name Sphyrna came naturally, as it is the scientific name for the family of sharks, which are hammerheads. Sphyrna actually means hammer in Greek, and it has a feminine tone to the name. The additional connotation of hammer is that it's exactly what Monty wants to do when he comes across another sailboat and an impromptu race ensues. Put the hammer down. It also helps that it is also easy to say it 3 times on a VHF radio call sign. The final item we wanted to cover is the boat builder Kinetic. Bob Hayward and the team from Kinetic really impressed us with their professionalism, knowledge, and willingness to accommodate just about every single one of our wants and needs for our dream yacht. Having come late into our consideration at Annapolis and having pretty well made up our mind with another builder, when we saw the Kinetic 54, it was just about configured exactly how we were trying to get the other builder to configure their boat.
It really dawned on us that this boat was the closest thing to the boat configuration we were looking for, and we got the sailor at wind speed during our test sail. With their packaging and inclusive optioning, we got a package price which was far more competitive than what we had received elsewhere. We were sold. I was also impressed with the track record and heritage of the boat builder in South Africa. They had previously built gunboats at this location and had the skills and trades and design expertise which carried over to Kinetic.
We cannot wait to visit South Africa and check on her build progress this fall, and also go on a safari while we're there. Kinetic was very involved with this first trip to South Africa as part of their purchase experience and helped us plan and organize what we think will be the trip of a lifetime to South Africa. We also intend to accompany her back on the delivery from South Africa to the Caribbean when we bring her home. So stay tuned as we provide updates on her build progress and our adventures while we wait for her completion.
In closing, we would like to thank Bob and the team from Kinetic for working with us and making this a wonderful experience buying our dream boat. Oh, and thanks for letting us use your stock footage in this video as well. The next series of videos as we follow the build will be our own footage and for our boat being under construction. Thanks for watching.